Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another segment of the Late Night Show with Dr. Kojo. I'm your host, Kojo Sarfo, checking in from what was a fairly cloudy but still a very beautiful day here in Los Angeles, California. We're going to be talking about four differences between autistic women and neurotypical women. This is DM that I got, so I put together a little list while I was at the gym today, and I feel like I can provide y'all with some value. And give y'all some insight into life on the spectrum as a lady, not from personal experience, obviously, but from clinical experience, from research that I've done. So hopefully this is something that you all are able to take in and appreciate. I'm looking here. We forgot to add TikTok. How did I forget to add TikTok? It makes no sense. I'm going to add TikTok here briefly, so that way our TikTokers can also enjoy this live stream. But in the meantime, go ahead and use the comment section to let me know where you're checking in from. Your name should already pop up if you're watching from Facebook, but let me know where you're checking in from and your name. So like I said already at the beginning of the live stream, my name is Kojo Sarfo, and I'm checking in from Los Angeles, California. Let me go ahead and allow my TikTokers to come through. Where are my TikTokers at? Put this URL in the stream key, and y'all know how it goes. There we go. All right. Okay, save changes. We are now streaming on TikTok. Let me see if it pops up on TikTok. Yeah, there we go. We are now streaming on TikTok. Everything is all good in the neurodivergent hood. Yeah, that was corny, but that's me. All right. All right, so go ahead, grab a seat. Everybody, come on in. This live stream is a perfect chance for us to body double, to get some stuff done. Maybe clean the house, do some dishes, do the laundry, catch up on some tasks. You can watch this. You're probably watching from your phone, but you can watch this and get things done passively. That's what I do when I watch live streams. All right, Edna be lurking. Edna, what's going on? Edna from YouTube. Cassandra, I'm good. How are you doing, Cassandra? Hope life is good on your end. Where are you checking in from? We have Charmaine checking in from Rhode Island. Wow. Okay, Rhode Island, stand up. Cassandra, yes, ma'am. And I appreciate that. I tell everybody when this live stream is on, take this opportunity to get something done. There's a lot of things that we're behind on. For example, I'm an hour late to this live stream because today is October 15th, which is the last day to file taxes in the state of California. And in true ADHD fashion, I waited until the last day. And then I have to figure out how to get into my IRS account and try and find my PIN. And, it's just been a day. And I paid a lot of money to my accountant to prepare the taxes. And I don't know why I waited, but that's neither here nor there. We have done that task. And now we're ready to move on. So, yeah, we can body double while we're watching this live stream. So hopefully you're learning something and getting things done at the same time. That way it's a win-win. Oh, and there's a tax account. And so you can imagine how stressful my day has been. It's been stressful, but it's been good because done is the best feeling. Like I feel like I took a huge dump. I don't know how else to say it, but I feel so relieved. I'm grateful. I feel like we know each other. We do through this platform, so we're friends. Cassandra is from Spring Branch, Texas. Okay, close to San Antonio. Yeah, I'm sure you have to tell people that's close to San Antonio so they can picture it geographically. Taxes and IRS. I agree. I think if you're neurodivergent, we should probably have like an extension just because of who we are. But yeah, it's done. So I feel good. I feel great. We're live streaming tonight and we're talking about 4 differences between autistic women and neurotypical women. And I made it. God is good. All right. So when we're talking about autism in women, I've talked about this before, but you tend to get diagnosed later in life. And I think that's one of the biggest issues, because whenever people ask me like, oh, do I need to get like, what's the point of a diagnosis, ADHD or autism? Like, does it make sense to get diagnosed? I always tell them the same thing. I say, hey, some people self-diagnose, some people know and they can identify with a condition, but the advantage to getting diagnosed is that you for sure know that you have this condition. And once you know that you have it, you can start to take the steps necessary to adjust your life so that way you can live a life that's, like your best life. You want to have a life that you're proud of, a life where you're thriving. And if you don't know that you're neurodivergent and you don't have the tools to, to get through life and to thrive, you're going to be confused. You're going to feel like something is not quite there, like something is missing. And that's no way to live life. We want to live life with excitement. We want to thrive. We want to live a productive life, and a life where we're proud of everything that we're doing and the people that we actually are. So it does help to get that diagnosis. So when you look at women who have to wait for years and years and years and years for a diagnosis, that's a lot of years going by where sometimes you don't know who you are. You're not making decisions that best represent, who you are or who you want to be and where you want to go. So that's why the diagnosis is so key. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some differences between a neurotypical lady and an autistic lady. And you'll see why I'm saying all these things. Charmaine just came back from Vegas. I made it there and back. And you cooked dinner. That's the first love of the show. As a Black woman, I found no resources for being neurodivergent. So Edna, I know that there's resources out there, but I don't disagree with you. It takes a while to find resources specifically for you, and also we're learning about this stuff in real time. Like, we're just now learning about it. So live streams like this is kind of like how we get the word out. Confusion is real. Everything was so foggy and felt like I was stumbling through life. Cassandra, thank you for sharing. And that's why when we can put the glasses on, when we put the glasses on and then we know what's going on, it makes everything so much clearer. And that's why when people get diagnosed, they're like, oh, I knew something was going on. I just couldn't put, couldn't put a finger on it. I couldn't put it into words. And for me, when I first got diagnosed with ADHD, or more specifically, when I first took medications for ADHD, it felt like the first time I put glasses on. I'll never forget the first time I put glasses on. I was in 5th grade. I was in Jacksonville, Florida. My uncle had sent the glasses from Nashville, and we lived on the second floor in our apartment building. I went outside. I put my glasses on. I looked down from the balcony, and I could see the blades of grass. I had never seen blades of grass in my life. So, like, I could see every single detail from the second floor, and it blew my mind. I was in 5th grade, so I'm like, what, 10, 11? I was like, wow, people have been going their whole lives and they could see so clearly. This blew my mind. The first time I took stimulants for ADHD, I was like, wow, this is crazy. I'm focused. I've never been this focused before in my whole entire life. I went to the doctor. I got the prescription. I went to the Kroger in Grovetown. I picked up the medication. I took the medication. I went straight to my ex-girlfriend's house. And I went straight. I gave her a kiss and I went in her room. I opened up my laptop and I started doing my work. I didn't hang around and watch football highlights for 2 or 3 hours. I didn't try and grab her butt or get distracted on purpose. I opened up my laptop and I was doing my work. She thought it was a brand new person. So when you start to understand yourself better and you have the tools, everything becomes crystal clear. Crystal clear. And that's the goal. That's the goal. Dana, how are you doing? Happy to have you here. No one even thinks sometimes people don't believe it. So that's why we have to not explain ourselves to everybody, but at least the people who are most important to us in our life. Like, let them know, hey, this is, a condition I live with. This is how I am. So if you want to understand me better, boom, 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 here are a couple of things. Or you can send like a 7-second TikTok or IG reel. That can be very helpful. Candace, how are you doing? Been a minute since I've seen you on here. Candace. And KT on TikTok is saying it's so hard to get diagnosed as an adult. I know, and I don't think it should be that hard. Um, it should not be that hard to get diagnosed, but I know it's. I got some thoughts on that. I got some thoughts on that. I got some thoughts on that. All right, number one, the first difference. All right, that I've noticed. Autistic women have more negative interactions in social situations. So, when compared to your neurotypical woman, autistic women have more negative interactions in social situations, especially during those formative years, middle school, elementary school, high school. And when I say negative interactions, this means that socially, you have a lot of things go wrong where you feel out of place, you feel awkward. The words that you rehearsed didn't work this time. And now you feel like your head's spinning fast. You deal with a lot of rejection if you didn't say the right thing. And now you try to figure out, what do I say the next time? This wasn't the right thing. It was clearly the wrong thing because the look they had on their face. The other time I said that thing 2 weeks ago, people were happy. So what do I have to say in order to fit into me? You have a lot of negative situations, and the negative situations, I guess the positive thing about it is that you learn people more, but then you use that knowledge to just mask more because now you know what you should say because you don't want to feel that rejection. And I'm not saying that neurotypical women don't have negative interactions. We all have negative interactions, but I do believe that when you're neurodivergent, the negative interaction that you have socially, you take it when you feel that rejection, you more so take it as like an attack on yourself, like I'm not enough. Whereas a neurotypical person would be like, all right, it wasn't my best day. It just wasn't my best day. I just couldn't get my words out today. Whereas you feel like, oh no, I'm defective. Like something's wrong. Like some screws are loose, or the negative things that you say to yourself are not helpful. And we have, as best as possible, we have to do our best to try and say positive things about ourselves. It sounds cliche, like you're telling a kid to be positive, but the words that you speak to yourself are very important. They're very important. Shannon from San Diego. Shannon, how are you doing? Been to LA for 4 years, almost 5. Never been to San Diego. Shame on me. Crystal is saying, just being a woman, no resources that are reasonable time-wise and affordability-wise. Being the homemaker while having a full-time job is hard, both time and money. We cannot make time. And this is true. You can't make time. So trying to find the most efficient way to go about things is going to be very difficult. So I think the first step, Crystal, is to acknowledge that things are hard or harder than you believe it should be, and then look for the opportunity. Because it can get better, but you have to acknowledge that it's hard first. Because if you don't acknowledge that it's hard, you're going to feel like you're gaslighting yourself. Because you'll feel like, hey, I should be further along, or like I shouldn't be this drained just doing like basic day-to-day stuff. And then, you get into that loop of the negative self-talk and the shame. And, you start to say things like, oh, like a normal person shouldn't, as if you're abnormal. And you're not. It's just atypical. I'm not even sure what normal is. I've thought about it a lot, but I have not figured out what normal is. I still don't know. Ali, I'm making a constant effort to figure out who I truly am, my weird neurodivergent self, so I can be that person around my small group and continue to mask elsewhere. Ali, I got to give you a love of the show for your transparency here. And ADHD 4.0 on TikTok says, masking drains me so much. It's so hard to just do basic tasks. And it is true. And you have to realize that the reason why you mask, I think somebody commented on my TikTok today, and they said, I don't mask. I've never masked before. I just can't find any friends. I was like, that's why you can't find no friends, because you're not masking. You got to mask to find friends. I'm not saying that you should do that, but that's why we mask. We mask so we can learn what's socially acceptable, and then we can find friends, because we all want to have friends. We all want to have friends. So that's why you mask. We all want to keep a job. So that's why you mask, because unmasking can cost you your job. Like, we got to be real. Do you want to lose your job in this economy because you unmasked? So Ali, I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. You're trying to figure out who you are, and you want to be your authentic self around a small group of people, and then you'll mask elsewhere. I see nothing wrong with this, because somebody might say, "Oh, you told her to mask." I'm not saying that, but if you can start the unmasking process, look, this unmasking process might take years. If you're 34 years old, you live your whole life one way. You think you're gonna snap out of the masking in 2 weeks, in a day, after one, TikTok live or Facebook live? Nah, it doesn't work like that. Having sustainable and achievable goals in small bite sizes is practical, because you when you unmask a little bit, you feel a lot better, because now you feel like, okay, I'm starting to figure out who I am. Like I know who I am now. Like, it's starting to click. Adelina says, yes, it can, and it will take years. Yeah, on TikTok, Adelina, thank you. This thing can take years. It can take years. So don't try and get it all back in one summer. Don't try and get it all back in one holiday season, because you're just putting too much stress on yourself. And ADHD 4.0 says, I don't know my normal self. I masked for so long. There's nothing wrong with not knowing who you are. And you have to give yourself grace for all the things that you did with the version of yourself that you thought you were. This stuff gets deep, y'all. Put the tape on about the work. Sometimes you have to. Look, I'm going to be real with y'all. Sometimes you have to. Or maybe spend less time with people that you're forced to mask around. But I'm not going to get on here and tell y'all to go to work tomorrow and show them exactly who you are, and fully unmask. No, it wouldn't be fair to you. Wouldn't be fair to your self-esteem. Wouldn't be fair to your bank account. Wouldn't be fair to your dependents. So we have to be practical about this. Gotta be practical about this. I started a whole ministry around people just giving themselves grace and loving on themselves, neurodivergent or not. Cassandra, I like this. I had to do it and have to always self-love a bit. The most rewarding thing I've done for the world. All my cards have been falling into place since starting a year ago. Cassandra, thank you so much. Drop the information in here. Maybe some of the people who are watching now, or people who catch the live stream after the fact, or some of the people on TikTok may see this and it can benefit them. I love the show for you. Love the show for you. And when you help people, it does so much good for you. Like, I could go on and on about what this platform has done for me personally. Like, helping people online, helping people in real life, it's changed my life. It's a reminder of the fact that, okay, I am needed. People do appreciate me. People do love me. People are better off because I'm here. If you don't have those reminders, you're gonna forget that. So I'm forever grateful to anybody who's watching my content, who's shared anything, patients I've interacted with. Like, y'all, your boy appreciates it. I really do. And Kate says, what's commonly diagnosed incorrectly but can be autism in disguise? What's commonly diagnosed incorrectly but can be autism in disguise? Kate, I'm not sure I understand that question. Like, what things, like what makes people diagnose another condition but it could be autism? Good question, Kate. I think it's more of the silent things. For example, the hair twirling that I talk about. A clinician might see a woman who's twirling her hair. As y'all can see, I have a lot of hair to twirl here, right? Look at this hair I'm twirling. I mean, I could dread it out, right? So clearly I ain't got a lot of hair to twirl, but y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. All right. But if you're twirling your hair, a clinician could say, oh, this is anxiety, or it's OCD, or, like, why are they twirling the hair? And not realizing that could be a stim that is done to help you regulate yourself and help you feel better. Okay, I hope I answered. So Kate says, for example, I was diagnosed with OCD and depression, but another doctor said I could have autism. So Kate, this is what we're talking about. So Kate, we're on the same page here, because I was mentioning OCD or depression, but another doctor said I could have autism, and that's why it's always good to get a second opinion. Nothing is wrong with getting a second opinion. Like, I'm never offended every time a patient is wanting to get second opinion. I could be wrong. I'm pretty good at what I do, but I could be wrong. It could be off day for me. Who knows? It could be off day. Cassandra says, affordable telehealth, certified Christian counseling. She's on Facebook. Facebook Love Me to Life Ministries, LLC, or anyone can text session to 210-920-1941. Thank you. I'm getting my own little one-woman podcast lineup. We should collab. You send me some info on how that can happen. Yeah, so Cassandra, reach out to my team, assistant at codersoftware.com. We may not have the opportunity to get this in this year, but even if it's next year, like I'd love to see how we can push this thing forward. Yeah. And Candace says, how do I help teach my kids not to mask so much? They do it all day and they're unaware. You got to take it little by little. Take it little by little. You don't want, it's really hard when you're a kid. It's really hard to be yourself when you're in fifth grade and, fully express who you are when everybody is a certain way. So like whenever you see your child being comfortable in one aspect of their life, anything that they're comfortable exhibiting to the world, I would promote that. That's probably the most linear thing that I do. So that way you're promoting something that they do that's unique. And look, it's the things that are unique that make us special. Like, why Allie, 1 second. Why would you want to ever hide that? Like the things that make you uniquely you, like that's the dope part about you. So why would you want to suppress that? For some Mickey Ficky that you don't even like anyway? What's going on? I'm very fortunate to have a job that jives in my ADHD and understanding boss who works with me, not against me, while I'm struggling with the task. It's the first job I've had flexible in and out times. It's amazing how much stress that's taken off of me. I'm able to do so much more physically and mentally now. Ali, I think I've been saying Ali. I don't know why I've been saying Ali. I think it's Ali. Ali, this is huge. When you have a boss who understands, it makes a huge difference. Some bosses are like, no, I need you to come in. You come in at 9. All right, make it figure. I'll get a new job. What's wrong with you? I'm gonna get me a new job. You come in at 9 and you take a lunch. No, Now we have to be held accountable. You can't let people just do what they want. But you gotta work with folks. You gotta give a little to get a little, right? I've been so wrapped up, I forgot to get to that list. Number two. Let me get to number 2 right here. All right. And now I'll read some of the comments on TikTok. I haven't forgotten about y'all. Autistic women are 7 times more likely to be victims of violent crime. I knew that if you're autistic, you're more likely to be victim of a crime, but I didn't know it was this startling. 7 times. It's crazy. That's crazy. And when you're a kid, right, your parents are there watching you. So your parents will, say, hey, a person is frowning, a person who's doing like this, they're angry. That could be bad. Let's step back. Stop sign red. We pause. What does it look like when a person is frustrated? Okay, let's give them some space. But as you get older, you don't have your parents around. And yes, Ali includes DV as well. When you get older, especially around those teenage years, that's when it gets. That's like when I would, not worry more, but just do your best to equip your teenage daughters with just some basic tools that we might have to review these things over and over. But hey, this is what it looks like when somebody is not our friend. This is not a safe person. This is a safe person. These are things that you should see to make you pause. And it sometimes comes from not understanding the social cues. When you don't understand social cues, you don't really know whether people are laughing with you or are they laughing at me. Like, is a joke funny, or like, do you think I'm hilarious, or you think I'm silly? Taking things too literally. Sometimes we speak in phrases, but if you take things too literally, then you might not understand that somebody's playing around, or it could be hard to sense danger. So this is something that It's important to teach your kids this, but we're all on this planet and we share this planet. So I think it's helpful to look out for our fellow neurodivergent folks. And if you see something and you can say something, you can help somebody out. I think that's always a great idea. Rachel says, "Thank you. My dude actually listens when you speak." All right, so Rachel, a lot of guys, sometimes we do this where a lady says something and we're like, yeah, whatever. And that guy says something and we're like, it's some internal bias that we have. Or maybe your Rachel, your boyfriend listens because I'm Dr. Kojo, but I'm just happy I could, communicate and get through to him. So I appreciate that. And it says, I developed a rest in peace phase because I don't want attention from men when I'm happy just bouncing down the street. Okay. And this is one way to do it, because if you're a girl, and I'm not saying that you should mean mug everybody, but if you don't want any guy to ever come up to you and you walk around like this, no guy's gonna come up. Well, actually, I can't say that. Some guys are persistent. Some guys are like, "Hey, man, let me holler at you." But for the most part, I'd say like 85% of guys can see that. Okay, she doesn't want to be bothered. If you walk around like this, like if you look annoyed, nobody's gonna come in and talk to you. I walk around, and look, I'm not saying that you should walk around like this, but sometimes when you're too friendly, you invite a lot of disrespect. I'm not saying we shouldn't be friendly, but sometimes you just have to let people know how to treat you. And unfortunately, this is a very effective method. Just walking around like this, it works. Let me look at some comments here. And Latte, I appreciate you. Some of the comments to y'all. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Cool. Now, I may have to mute you just for a little bit. Yeah, sorry. I appreciate you. Roy, thoughts on Beast Bar? I try not to give thoughts on medications, but at least I haven't seen a lot of efficacy from Beast Bar for my patients, but it doesn't mean that doesn't work. That's what I've seen. This got my feedback yesterday. So Denise on TikTok, this guy diagnosed with autism at age 44. Don't know what that means. Oh, it just means that the way that you communicate with the world is different from how a neurotypical person will communicate with the world. So because you speak in two different languages, you got to make some adjustments. All right. My dad, we moved from Ghana, West Africa, to Norway in 1994, so something like that. I was a kid. So you have my dad and my mom, two African Mickey Fickies in Norway, maybe the whitest country on earth. So the way that they found their first friend, they looked through the Yellow Pages equivalent, and they looked in it for people who had African names. And my dad was at the airport in Norway, and he called up this random Ghanaian guy because it looked like he had an African last name. And I called him. The guy came and picked him up from the airport, and that's how my dad made his first friend in the country of Norway. Because you have, like, I respect my parents so much. You have two brand new Africans in Europe. They speak they speak Norse. We speak Twi, but we speak English as well. When you speak two different languages, how can you communicate? What's up, B? Hey. What's up, boo? You speak two different languages, so it's confusing. You don't know how to relate to them. So likewise, if you're neurodivergent and specifically autistic, the way you communicate is different than somebody who is neurotypical, right? So understanding these differences and accounting for it is going to make your life way easier. I get taken advantage of too easily walking around like I don't want to be bothered or walking into the bar. Yeah, it's helpful. Finally, look, the resting bitch face, I think it's helpful. And like I said, it's not going to deter all the guys. You're still going to have some drunk guys who come out and they're going to try and holler at you. But the average guy, it's kind of, that's the reason why I don't holler at chicks at the gym. You'll see girls who'll have their headphones on like this, and they're bumping Eminem or Sabrina Carpenter, or whatever they're listening to. But if they're looking down, then socially, even though I'm neurodivergent, I know that, okay, that means that I don't think they want to talk to me right now. Bailey, go ahead, shoot the question. So Bailey, I can't comment on specific medications, but I can say that ADHD stimulants can make you more anxious sometimes. And you mentioned something about weight gain. So I'll just put the question up here. I can't comment on the specific medications, but what I will say is that whenever you're getting placed on, look, anytime y'all start new psychiatric medication, you really should ask your provider, is this going to make me gain weight or is it going to make me lose weight? A lot of the meds that we start, it makes you gain weight. So you would think that they would tell you that. At least I do. Like I know what makes you gain weight and what makes you not. One of the problems with me mugging is it'll also cause problems with women. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Yeah. But do the pros outweigh the cons? And once you find like a girl who's like, oh, this could be my friend, you can let them know, all right, like I got a mean mug, so that way I don't get, that way nobody bothers me, so on and so forth. We're at the 30-minute mark too. Somebody dropped the magic word in so we can get we can get the water break going. Jackie, no problem. Jackie on TikTok, no problem. Celestial System. Yeah, I have moderators on TikTok, but so okay. I gotta mute this person for the whole live. I try not to block you. I try not to block, but I'm trying not to block. Oh, how to make friends. We're gonna have a live stream where we talk about how to make friends when you're neurodivergent. There's a big thing going on right now with loneliness. I definitely feel it too. Like when my siblings are in town or when the guys are in town, it helps. But I feel like we're a bit more lonely. It helps having my assistant over there, but like I think in general we are a bit more, lonely. All right, let me see. Did somebody drop the magic word in? Do y'all know the magic word? Kate said magic word. Kate, y'all know what the magic word is? Seth, the topic tonight is four differences between autistic women and neurotypical women. And we've already done 2, so we're going to do 3 and 4. How to meet people in a not creepy way. All right, we need to have a whole live stream on this. Trust me, we'll talk about it because the loneliness is, I think, it's just a key part of the neurodivergent experience. But it does beat the disrespect you get from fake friends any day and every day. Bailey, you think you're creepy? Who says that? All right, so nobody knows the magic word. All right, I'm gonna have to put the magic word in here. Magic word is cheers. Cheers. All right, y'all. It's time to get some water in. You know how it is when you're neurodivergent. Sometimes you don't be drinking water. You be underhydrated and parched. Big cheers, y'all. Cheers. Get some water in. The water make you feel good. The water make you feel good. And yeah, it is really hard to get 8 glasses a day. And Bailey says, I stare into people's eyes too long. Can't help it. So, look, Bailey, where's the thing in my mouth? If you know you stare into people's eyes for too long, you can help it. Like if we're making eye contact, okay, all right, cool. Like, you kind of learn, okay, I'm gonna look away for a little bit. Like I'm talking to you. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Like you learn over time, or once you get comfortable with somebody, you can say, hey, you know what? I do this thing where I be staring for a little bit longer than I think I should be staring. So just let me know if you feel uncomfortable, or they must think you're DTF. Bailey, maybe. I mean, Bailey, maybe. Like, I think at least as a guy, when like if a guy is asking, how do I know that a woman likes me? Because of like the things that she does. At least in my opinion, I'm getting better at picking up on if somebody's flirting with me. But one of the main things is eye contact. Whether it's being held for a long time, but also it's that second look. It's that second look. Like someone look at you, the look again. That second look gives it away. I'm gonna start asking that to guys. Yeah, I mean, I got big eyes too. But you don't have to adjust yourself all the way for somebody. Ashley on TikTok says, if you notice the guy keeps looking away, should I do less eye contact? I mean, how you doing? So our Ashley on TikTok, if you notice the guy keeps looking away, you shouldn't do less eye contact. I think the best thing to do is to just acknowledge, like, hey, let the person know what's up. Say, hey, I noticed that you're looking away a lot. Just checking in to see if everything's okay. Like when you're nervous, it helps to call it out. It's like I learned this in stand-up comedy. If I'm up on stage and I'm bombing and no jokes are hitting, I'll just be like, all right, so like clearly y'all came to see how unfunny I am. Like this is not funny, is it? And then people are like, yeah, you're not funny. And then they'll start laughing. You're acknowledging the obvious. Communication is key. Communication is key. I had to say back to back with my fiance when we first met. Right, and look, now you have a fiance, so the communication is. I have to sit back to back. Oh, okay, wow. Oh, you have to sit back to back. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Somebody says eye contact is difficult. See too much. Our eyes are a glimpse into so much more. Yeah, it can be hard. Laura Jean says, how do I find a neurodivergent person to date? Tired of being misunderstood. Laura, I truly believe that, and I'm not saying that if you're neurodivergent, you have to date somebody who is neurodivergent, but if both people are neurodivergent, I think the understanding piece of the relationship is much easier. That doesn't mean that they'll fully understand you, but they'll make more attempts to understand you because they understand you more. Like when I made the joke about my autistic ex and how I'm looking for a girl who's autistic. Yeah, it's a joke, but there's a lot of truth in it because this is somebody who, maybe I've heard the story, but the girl who I was dating who's autistic, this is way before the TikTok stuff and everything. She just wanted to spend time with me. That's all. She just wanted to spend time with me. Remarkable. It's crazy. And I was up in Virginia. I got my first big boy job. I finally got my doctorate. I'm finally making good money. I was sleeping on an airbed for like 2 months. Why? I don't know why. Because I finally had like some money, but I was sleeping on an airbed for 2 months. And that's the thing with us as guys. Unless a girl comes in, like we can live on remarkably little. We can eat finger foods, So like if I'm eating an autistic girl, even I'm already eating chicken nuggets. I can't cook. It's already compatible. But she came in and like when she first came to Virginia, she would fly back and forth because she was coming from Savannah, Georgia. But when she came into Virginia, She slept on my airbed, didn't say a single thing. She was, I've never seen a girl so happy on an airbed. Like material things don't really matter to autistic people, I think, unless it's their thing. I'm on the airbed, and she's having the time of her life on the airbed. And I remember looking at her, and she's on the airbed, and she was just so happy. And I thought to myself, I said, all right, tomorrow morning, I'm going to call my mom, and I'm going to ask her, Mom, how can I buy a mattress? Because this is a little ridiculous. And the very next day, I went to get a mattress, and I got a real bed. And like that's kind of how you get things out of a guy. I mean, he has to want to do it, but she did make me feel bad for having a air bed. I'm like, all right, cool, say less. I'm gonna go get a real bed with a bed frame and a mattress and a mattress foam. I'm gonna get some real pillows. I said, no more air bed. I know you're riding with me, so no more air bed. I'm gonna get a real bed. Yeah, I was already eating the chicken nuggets, so I ain't stressing out by no finger foods. Yeah. At some point, and also like if I was unemployed or something like that, it just felt good to know that like if I didn't have anything, no money, no resources, you would thug it out with me on the airbed. So like once I knew that, I'm like, all right, cool. No more, no more. We're gonna get a real bed tomorrow, and we're gonna go out to a real restaurant and take a break from finger foods. We're gonna go to Food for Thought on I forget the road, but it's in Williamsburg, Virginia. Food for Thought, that restaurant close to Ripley's. I forget the road, but it's on that main road in Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm like, let's go get some real food because you've been through too much torture. Big Fuzzy Yak, how are you doing? But if there's a neurodivergent, like I don't know why Tinder or like all the apps, like they should have a neurodivergent option. I think or maybe there should be an app, and maybe the way you the way you would get the way you would get verified on the app is you have to show your diagnosis. Like I'm a card carrying member of the ADHD Society. Like, I'm spoken for. I got my card. Lucky, I met my husband at the vape shop where he worked because Facebook friends and talked for a while and finally decided to meet up in person. That was 8 years ago. Congratulations. That's what's up. That's what's up. Online dating is how most people meet their person nowadays. And I can't speak on that too much. I'm not too well versed on the online dating type of thing, but that's where things appear to be going. I will no longer use Ride or Die. Yeah, you need someone who can thug it out with you. Someone who can thug it out. Lady Lay says, my card has a lot more on it. Hey, Lady Lay, whatever you have on your card, ADHD, autism, OCD, put it all on there. Put it all on there. Big Fuzzy Yak, I'm doing good. Laura says, people always think that I'm being mysterious when I stare at them. I'm just That's funny. That's funny. A neurodivergent card is the only ID outside my. Yeah. Wouldn't that be dope? Where's my wallet at? I must have lost his Mickey fix. All right, whatever. But it'd be cool to just pull out my wallet. I got my card right there, or like little macro bracelet. ADHD, anxiety, depression. That's funny. How old am I? I'm 31, Lady. That's what you asked. Yeah, Tiff. I might need to run with this idea myself. Okay, all right. The third difference between autistic women and no, there's not a real card, but I think that there should be one. Oh, the Friends app. Oh, I know there's a Friends app. Okay, that's interesting. The third difference between autistic women and neurotypical women. So, 3 times more likely to, but actually to be more specific, 3 times more likely to attempt unaliving, and also 3 times more likely to, complete the unaliving. So that's why it's so important to create a world for yourself. Hey, shout out to the person who just finished their taxes 5 minutes ago. We're on the same page. You must be in California as well. But that's why it's so important to create a world for yourself where you feel worthy of love, attention, and respect. Because if you're neurodivergent, so if you're autistic, the world as it comes, you can't just be dropped into this world and you're good to go. Your self-esteem is going to be high. You're going to like yourself. No, you got to make modifications. You got to make adjustments. You have to tweak a couple of things, or else you're going to be forced to operate as a neurotypical person, and that's going to drain you. You can do it for a little bit, but my goodness. Bob Marley says you can fool some people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. So if you're operating as a neurotypical person, at some point you're going to get burned out. So when you create this world for yourself where you truly enjoy who you are and you're stable in your sense of self and your identity, can't nobody mess with you. These are some of the things that help to keep those unaliving thoughts away. Yeah, this saw a real. Oh, Chrisella, thank you so much. I appreciate you too. Thank you so much. Yeah, so keep in mind, and I remember I had a patient who, I hope she's doing well. I had a patient who, I think I diagnosed her with autism last year. But either way, she was depressed and anxious for years. Like it was like at least 10 years since she had been depressed. And look, anytime somebody's been depressed for like 10 years, that's not normal. Like I've mentioned this before. It's not normal to be depressed for 10 years. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's not normal. Like depression is low energy, fatigue, poor concentration, losing interest in things. Everything is harder to do, irritability for the better part of 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. If this is going on for 10 years, is not depression. It is depression, but something is causing that. Could it be that you're being forced to live as a different type of creature? When you're one way, you're having to live as a neurotypical being. When you're a neurodivergent Mickey Ficky, it's gonna drain you. It's gonna drain you. People self-medicate. Right. And look, I'm not telling y'all to garden. Don't take my words and roll with it, because I know some people will. But I'd much rather have people get high than unalive themselves. That's all I say. I'm not saying fix one problem with another problem, but I'd much rather you go gardening than to unalive. I think anybody would do that, right? I don't think that's a far-fetched type of a thought. I think. How do you, Stephanie? You address it with your doctor straight up, but you have to have you have to have a doctor who makes it. You need a provider who lets you tell the truth. That's why I try and come as myself all the time, because like if you're gonna come and lie, like what's the point? Like I love what my patients would say. Like, look, I had a patient one time. It was a telehealth appointment. So I'm on my iPad. The patient is on their phone. I kid you not. Halfway through the appointment, my patient starts rolling up. He starts rolling up a blood. He starts gardening. My bad. I'm not trying to get this live stream He starts gardening in the middle of the appointment. He's like, you don't mind if I do? I said, go ahead. Go ahead. Now, that's not the time to say, hey, the hydrocarbons from the smoke might clear out your medications faster. No, like we'll get to that. We'll get to that. At least the person's alive. Like at least we can start somewhere. Don't make them feel bad, And if they say, hey, are there some reasons for me to stop gardening? I can give you a lot of reasons why. But in the moment, like one thing at a time, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. Uh, Carissa, I'm on a break right now. I'm on a self-imposed break. You know, I'm trying to do this celibacy thing for a little bit. I'm trying, and I've been able to do for a little bit, so it's pretty cool. So I'm on a break. I'm chilling, but my celibate knees getting weaker. Getting weaker. Um, Stephanie, it's just as simple as this right here. Like, tell your psychiatrist, hey, like, I don't know, I think I could be autistic. What do you think? They can diagnose you. They might refer you to somebody, but they can diagnose. This shouldn't be that difficult, but it is. I know it is. It's that difficult. He kind of plays it off. Well, so you might. I'm not telling you to fire your psychiatrist, but you might need a different Mickey Ficky, because, like, what will a diagnosis do for you? Like, this live stream. I don't know what part you came in on, but number one was autistic women have more negative interactions socially than neurotypical women. Number two, 7 times more likely to be victims of violent crime. Number three, there's an increase in SI and unaliving tendencies and ideation when you're autistic. That I have one more for y'all, but those 3 right there, that's reason enough to pursue a diagnosis, at least for identity reasons. Like, you need to know who you are and why you operate the way you operate. Because once you know that, you can make the adjustments. So if you have a provider who's a bit flippant about this, you might need to find a different Mickey Ficky. And guarding tends to work really well in the beginning, but there can be a lot of like the residual effects and the memory fog, and it's not as harmless as people think it is. I just have to say that. Playing hard to get. Oh, like, am I playing hard to get? No, I'm not playing hard to get. I'm just decentering women in my life. That's why I'm on this celibacy break. I can't even say the word. Even the word is an annoying word, but I just had to decenter the opposite sex for just a little bit, clear my mind. I'm in LA, so there's like like I've never been in a city where like I can leave the house today. I left the house today to go to the gym, but from the time that I leave the house and come back home, you would see like 35 baddies. That's too much for my brain. Like, let me take a break. Just tuned in to. Oh yeah, did you have like your child or somebody, tell you what the gardening is, or you figured it out? Mia, yeah, I have to see. I have my practice manager who she knows how to do all the telehealth stuff. I could see kids. If she gets in the picture, she could help me out. Otherwise, I don't know how to see patients on my own. I only have to see patients. I only could see them like through a hospital. But I have a practice manager who said she might want to come back and work. If she comes back, then I'll let y'all know if I'm seeing kids in certain states. But I would need Carol's help. Carol knows how to do that. Hey, how are you doing? What's up? Oh, Felicia, look, I'm neurodivergent too, so I'm able to relate. Like, I know what it feels like to be on the outside looking in. Lucky, that's what's up. Let me see what TikTok is saying. Ashley, you're right. It's up in LA is crazy. And Ashley, thank you so much. I'm happy that you're acknowledging this, because being celibate in Gary, Indiana. No disrespect to Gary. Gary is, Indiana's great. If you're from Indiana, don't take this the wrong way. But being celibate in Indiana is different from Los Angeles. It's taking a lot of restraint. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. Some doctor said they don't diagnose adults. Okay. All right. Oh, Mia, I still have an Arizona license. If Carol comes back, she can get it set up. Otherwise, I don't know how to do it. I was a kid who didn't get things I like because I didn't look excited enough. And Chase says I've been depressed for at least 14 years. Yeah, if you've been depressed for 14 years, depression is a symptom, but it's a condition as well. There's something that's causing that depression. So if you go down to the root, grab it out. Wherever's at the root is causing the depression. You fix that, you change your life. You treat the depression as it presents. You just have a band-aid. You're trying to change your life, trying to give you a new way to live. I'm still because of perimenopause. Oh, look, there's a lot of reasons why people might be celibate. Perimenopause, or maybe your antidepressants you have no feeling or no drive. It's much harder when you try and force yourself. But I'm trying. Oh, Santa Barbara is harder. Tiffany, really? I know it was a college town. I've been up to Santa Barbara once. It's a college. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, okay. Tiffany, I respect it. Wow. I respect it. Santa Barbara, they got the beach over there. Yeah, LA is a different beast. That's all I can say. LA is a different beast. It's a different beast. I somehow walked into a relationship and didn't even realize it. Had to fix that, aka immediately shut it down. Stop talking to the person because I felt I was not clear and secret. Lydia, this is also a neurodivergent thing, and this is why it's good to sometimes just pause, because I've done this thing before, where you're just talking, and you're talking to old girl, and she's cool, she'd come over, we're hanging out. Maybe I might take her to a premiere or something like that, even though I try to not do that, because I don't want to, show her to the whole world. Like, I don't know if we're gonna last, but sometimes we go out, and before you know it, 5 weeks has gone by, and I'm like, why is she over every single day? And I'm not saying that I don't like you, but you're over every single day. I got goals, I have dreams, I have a purpose. I'm trying to be a mental health champion. I'm trying to make my content. I have all these ideas and all these note cards and notebooks, and I'm trying to make my content for my community. But you're over every single day that you want to spend the night, and then it's already hard for me to wake up in the morning, and then you spend the night, and it just throws off my routine. But then when she goes, and I don't see her for a week or two, I'm like, oh, I wish she was over. Where is she at? I know she's somewhere here. I know she's in Sherman Oaks. But I need my space. I wake up with your morning breath. And then, okay, this kid's watching. Never mind. Yeah. Leave it in morning breath. A random piece of advice for someone tonight. My random piece of advice is, a lot of people love you and care about you. Let's keep that in mind. I say that to patients every time. Just keep in mind, a lot of people love you and care about you. So take that. Sometimes it doesn't register, but a lot of people love and care about you. So don't forget that. Don't forget that. Off-label research for lamotrigine to help manage. So Brittany, I have not. I need to look into this though, because I think lamotrigine, I think it's a wonderful med. I've seen it be a game changer for a lot of people, and I know we use it off-label for borderline sometimes, personality disorder, even though it's mainly a bipolar 1 or 2 thing. But no, Brittany, I'll look into this. Yeah, I'll look into this. Thank you. That's dope. I need to look into that. And Tiff, oh my gosh, my goodness, I referenced Bob Marley. Miss, I forgot her name. I was jamming with her on TikTok Live the other day. Oh no, but that's my Bob Marley listening buddy. But let me see. Lamictal and autism. Wow. Let me look into that. Let me look into that. But yeah, and look, man, other people are time. I don't want to go too off topic, but I was talking to a friend about this, and I was telling her because she's bi and she's in an open relationship, so she was dating women for the first time, and I said, "Hey, I gotta warn you about women. Women are the best thing of all time, but at the same time, like it takes a lot out of us to, to just, you know, to court a woman and to, And she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And she was texting multiple people. And today she texted me, she said, Coach, I'm giving up dating. It's too draining. I said, you've seen how things are from our perspective. And once again, this is a communication issue. It doesn't mean that we don't like the girl, but it's just that sometimes like Lydia said, sometimes we accidentally end up in relationships. They're so easy to get into and so hard to get out of. And when priorities are different, it's like you're, like I want to do this, but you want to do that, or I want to do this, but you want to spend all time with me. I want you to spend time with me, but I gotta breathe too. Like just give me a little bit of space. Like I promise you, just a little bit of space, and like let me sleep tonight, and we'll do whatever you want tomorrow, but just give me like a little bit of space just to breathe. And that could be a neurodivergent thing where, like sensory overload, or we just get shut down. And sometimes that's why I don't mind loneliness or solitude or celibacy, because at the very least you have some peace, like peace of mind. Peace of mind. Oh my goodness. Peace of mind is beautiful. Peace of mind is beautiful. I'm an ADHD and ASD converge. Yeah. Yeah. But look, Brittany, going back to the earlier talking point of, somebody on TikTok were saying if you're dating somebody and they're also neurodivergent, like would that be better? It could be, because that person could understand you, and maybe, and that's why once with an autistic girl, like she's probably burnt out too. So how can you like overwhelm me when you're burnt? We're both burnt out. We're just gonna like chill out for a little bit. Just relax. Just relax. I've never thought about this, but I know there's a lot of efficacy to psilocybin, a lot. All right, let me answer a couple of TikTok questions. Why does gardening cause dissociation? Because that's what gardening does. Gardening, it makes you present, but also separates you from reality. Hannah says, I do better on my own. And yeah, Hannah, maybe so. I clicked your profile. It says 26. Let me see. Living my best life. Yeah, you can live your best life. You can live your best life solo. Not say you should do that all the time. Oh, Amina, I'm still doing TikTok live. And I'll go on TikTok after being on Facebook, for the after party. I'm gonna do that too. Our relationship should have a safe space for yeah. See, it's small things like this that make such a huge difference. And when you understand yourself, then you're able to, articulate your needs, because there's a difference between your wants and your needs. But when you understand that, hey, I get overwhelmed a lot, and just having a little bit of time for myself, but people like when you have to lie to, when you lie to somebody, you realize that person has created an environment where they made it easy for you to lie, because you telling the truth, you got rejected. So you learned over time to lie to them, to adjust to being with that person. So when there's a safe space and you can communicate with the other person, and you all make a concerted effort to not take things personally, you can really go somewhere. I was in a relationship with a woman for 2 years a long time ago. It was too much. And look, by hearing and hearing by, as difficult as it is to date women, I will never stop. I will never stop. I can take the pain. I just need a little bit of a timeout from time to time. But I mean, I know why people are in same sex relationships. Like it makes full sense to me. But for me, no, I love women too much. I will take the pain. I will take the pain. Give me the pain. Give me the pain. I can handle it. I can handle it. I promise you, I can handle it. I'll dig deep somewhere and handle it. But having somebody who knows you, because consideration is a very high form of love. It's just a really good feeling. It's a really good feeling. Cassandra, this is all I'm trying to say. And see, if y'all both neurodivergent, you know that you're not hurting him because he gets it. So now you can go take a break and he can go hop on Madden. And then when you all come back, you're better for each other. But when you're dealing with, I'm not husband material. I'm good. I know that. I'm good. I'll pass on this. But when you and your partner can both tell the truth without having to cap, it's a good feeling. There was this clip that this comedian posted online, and the net of it was he was talking to some girl, and the girl was like, "What time are you gonna get home?" But he got off his flight and he got home at like 3:00. But he told the girl, "I'll be home by 8:00." So that way he can get 5 hours to rest. And I felt seen so much because it's small things like that I've had to do. And it's not like a big lie. It's not like I was with some other girl last night. It was just I got home at 3, but I told you I got home at 8 because I just needed that 5 hours to just decompress, take a number 2, look at the wall, look at the sky, watch some funny TikToks, take a shower, just beat me a little bit. And then now we can hang out. But it'd be really nice to, be with somebody and say, hey, I arrived at LAX at 3:00. I got home by 4, but I'm busy between 4 and 9. After 9, you can come over. Without it being like how come I only come over at night? I'm just tired. We can hang out tomorrow. It's don't type. What's TikTok saying? Oh yeah, Laura, I love women too much. I'll never go to the other side, but I respect it. I need someone who can be alone again. Laura, that makes sense. I've always said that one of my dreams is to be in a room. And I mean, it's happened before, but to be in a room by myself, and then maybe my old lady is like on that couch, like just in her own world. Maybe 45 minutes go by, we don't say a single word. Like you're in the back stimming and I'm stimming too. I'm just chilling. That'd be amazing. Cindy, how are you doing? Cindy, it's been a minute. Job title, psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. And the doctor comes from going to school for an extra year to get your doctorate. So doctor of nursing practice, specialty in psychiatry and mental health, Samantha Daniels. I've been following since the pandemic. Listened to your post and read your book. Chris, thank you so much on TikTok. Thank you so much. Chris, you saved your life, and I was just in the passenger seat, helping you out. And thank you for supporting the book, which I don't always have on me, but I happen to have it here. So Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate you. It means a lot to me. Right. Tiffany, oh my gosh. I'm in the room and I'm just in my own corner and you are at your own corner. Like just stay there and then just let me decompress. It will be amazing. Hey, Bailey, this is a neurodivergent love language. Let's just be nonverbal and get weird. Like just stay in your corner. I'll stay in my corner. Oh, this not bring the energy of the room down. This is we're recharging our batteries. That's all we're like. We got to recharge. You know, that's how we have portable chargers. It's almost like this thing is charged. I put it on my back, and it charges me up. I just need some time to myself. Just some time. Yeah, Hayden, I agree. Just to clear my head, and like as guys, you know, and I don't think this is a neurodivergent thing, but as guys, we're thinking about a lot of things, especially in relationships. We're thinking about, you know, our aging parents. We're thinking about our siblings. We're thinking about finances. We're thinking about, you know, what your old lady. We're just thinking. So it's just nice to like sit back, and I promise I'll stay in my corner. I won't try and touch your butt. I would just stay in my corner. And I get distracted, but I'll just stay in my corner and just recharge. And then once I get some energy, I'll be good. Tiff, thank you for being on. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Tiff. Recharging is a must. And when you recharge, you'll realize that you'll just be a better person, a better version of you for everybody, better for yourself, just better, just you'll just man. Hayden, I appreciate you too. Yeah, and I'm grateful for this moment. I'm happy you were here. I'm happy you were here. I think about everyone's life, too much empathy. So Bailey, when you say normal, I'm not sure what normal means, but it just means that you care a lot. It could be neurodivergent, you know, hyper empathetic, but just have to know how to have some boundaries and just do your you know, do what you can, you know, and then wish the best for other people. Wait, now I was such a butt. Yeah, but you know, when you do that, you get distracted, and then, you know, yeah, I know how this works. You know, I get distracted, and then something else happens, and then now like an hour went by, and I still didn't post the content that I wanted to post because I'm laid up in the bed, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna try and just a little timeout because it'll teach you discipline. Like timeout, just I'm not gonna touch it. And if I'm asking for like this, like an hour to decompress, I think that's a reasonable exchange. Just let me decompress for an hour, please, please. We share too much air. That's funny. Share too much air. Oh, you have to give a damn because if you don't, then what are we doing? Like you have to care. Like you have to care. You have to care. Now the fourth um, difference between autistic and neurotypical women, because we've been going in and out. I wanted to, you know, have the fourth and last one be something that's more positive. Autistic women become slightly happier with age and more satisfied in adult relationships than in their teenage years when compared to neurotypical women. And I don't think that the average neurotypical lady is just like walking around sad and just like not enjoying life. I think it's more so that, you know, when you're autistic, like your friendships that you had when you're younger, they weren't built on a solid foundation. Like these are the masking friendships. Like you did this to get through middle school. You did this so you could be a cheerleader. Like, you know, like you did what you had to do. But as you get older, you do have fewer friends because the more you mask, your friends go down like this, masking friends. But if the quality of your friendships are deeper, there's just no better feeling of being accepted by the people that you want to be accepted by. So as you, and this, once again, this is why it's important to know yourself, because as you know yourself and you have the right tools, you do become a little happier with age and more satisfied. So there's hope. You can't forget that there's hope because you do become a little bit more happier because now the friends that you have, you used to have 18 friends. Now you have 3, but the 3 friends that you have, they really care. These people care whether you live, you know, whether something happens to you, and the fact that they care means all the difference. Like it's man, And like I would say I have fewer friends too now. But man, like my guys, I mean, my friends, my people, I can tell them the truth. I don't have to lie. Like I hate lying. I'm already on TV and I have to be like, like like I gotta be like, I just want to be myself. It makes a difference when people allow you to be yourself. I think it's allowing somebody to be themselves is scary because they may not be your people. They could leave. And a lot of relationships and friendships are built on this imbalance to where it's like, as long as you do this, I like you. So when you just let people be, you're gonna find out who they really are. But when you get to that point where you're searching for the truth, it's like, damn it, I need the truth. Like I'm not going back. There's a point of no return. And a lot of y'all who are here are probably already there because you don't just stumble upon this content. You're probably researching something about signs of being autistic, or like, I feel like I'm not like you've been researching things, and then the algorithm places me on your, on your FYP or whatever, and then you're like, oh, where was this content 10 years ago? Now we didn't have short form content 10 years ago, but that wasn't the right time for you to get it. This is the right time because back then, like you hadn't gone through everything that you've been through, but now like we have experiences, we have a lot of trauma, all that CPTSD, which is trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma. So now you have the pain, you got the scars. So now you're ready to learn because now you're like, all right, okay, I already know what the alternative is like. I'm good. I have to move forward. I gotta move forward. Candace is life changing. When you know, you know. So I think this is a neurodivergent thing where sometimes we can have addictive personalities. There are people I interact with social, and look, loneliness is a huge thing, especially for autistic people. But and look, if you have one friend it goes a long way. I was wild nut when I was young. Well, how long ago were you young? As we settle into ourselves, yeah, it makes sense. You don't have as many friends, but the friends that you have, these are your, like, you can accomplish anything with these friends. You talk to them in confidentiality. You're not worried about something coming out. Like you can be yourself around. Like I value that so much. Like I don't have to lie. Wow, ain't no shame because whatever embarrassing thing you told your friend, they told you something way worse. I'll never allow myself to bend the truth about my boundaries, but I don't care to date a person and have to suss out whether or not they're lying. Yeah, and look, Brittany, think about this. If you are a recovered or recovering people pleaser, you know how much insecurity, and anxiousness you had, which made you people please. So once you cross over to the other side, you can make a real argument that, all right, cool. If that person is a people pleaser, do they really like me? Or are they just doing that because they think I want that? It gets deep because now you're like, Cassandra, I appreciate you. Oh, a lot of freedom in knowing yourself. It's so important to know yourself. Oh my gosh, it's so important to know yourself. And look, the people pleasing tendencies, it doesn't go away all like. That's why look, you can't be too hard on yourself. Like if you make a little bit of progress, we'll take it and we'll move on to tomorrow. We'll go on to Wednesday. It's all good. You can't get it all back in one day, 1 week, 1 year, a couple of years. This is a process. This is a process. I might ship to land at port in this area. Just don't want issue. Yeah, it's easier to be fake and have people like you. That's true. Logan, how are you doing? It's been a while. I have ADHD and I have a addictive personality. Yeah, we tend to have that. We tend to have that. And Laura's saying they make the effort to understand the way you communicate. Right. Because if people when you get to the point where you see things for how they actually are, and you make decisions based off of that versus how you feel about that person, your whole life will change. Be careful if you want to do this. Be careful. Be careful. Don't just wake up one day. You gotta ease your way into this. You gotta ease your way. I would say this is probably the first year that I made an intentional effort to do that. To look at people and things for what I'm seeing in front of me, what they're actually doing versus how I feel about them. It may flip my whole shit. It's crazy. Because now I'm like, oh wow. Yeah, she's extremely pretty, but I don't like that. That's not self-serving. That's disrespect. I have to check that. I don't like the way you talk. No, no. I don't like the way you treat my family. No, 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 no. This can't work. But you're blinded because of how you feel about the person, or maybe how they look like, or maybe their social status, or something on the periphery. But when you take things for exactly what you're seeing, yeah, you'll have less friends. Yeah, you'll be in fewer relationships, but there's no playing that's happening here. You lose a lot of people, but you won't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself. Yeah. It'll make your head spin. It will make your head spin. Struggling to mask in corporate settings after unknowingly masking 4 years before diagnosis. So Lori's saying that she's struggling to mask in corporate settings. And Lori, it's tough because when you make an intentional effort to mask, like the way you do one thing is really how you do everything. So you may want to unmask everywhere. There was a lady earlier in the street who was saying that she is working on being more authentic with her friends and then masking at work. That makes complete sense because you have to. A lot of neurodivergent people enjoy working for themselves because you don't have to play that game. But until you can work for yourself, we'll play the game a little bit. Gotta give a little to get a little. You can do what you can. But when you're struggling to mask, just take it as a sign of, oh, I'm just getting closer to myself. But you gotta laugh a little bit here and there. Yeah, a little something at the corporate dinner. But you can get in your car and laugh about it like that's crazy. Mask off. I gotta go listen to this song afterwards. Bailey, I appreciate you. I masked so hard, my voice would be annoying. All right, so Bailey, look, I'm just using it as an example. Look, Bailey, if you found somebody, okay, who all the weird things that you do, you couldn't annoy that person. And this person, every single weird thing you did was like just so amazing to them. Think of how your self-esteem would just like, you'd feel unstoppable. You can't be stopped because everybody else is like, oh, she makes too much eye contact. Her eyes are big. No, they're just not your people, and that's all. That feels a lot better than becoming somebody else and then being accepted for that, because now you have to keep that up, and then you can. It's gonna come at a great cost. Everyone I ever dated wanted to chop my head off, but they say they like my charm. Hey, the thing that makes you love that person is the thing that it gets on your nerves. But once again, you have to learn how to communicate with that person. And look, we are like beat over the head with too many options. Like it's too many options. It's like too many apps, too many options. You got Instagram DMs. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Trust me. It's a lot. And I know because like even 10 years ago, we didn't have this much optionality. It's too much out there. And people aren't putting effort. Like relationships should come at a cost. Like I know I said earlier that like, I get, frustrated if, I accidentally get into a relationship and now the girl's always coming over and I can't get some time to breathe to myself. Yeah, I still get frustrated because I have things to do, but a lot of that stuff is warranted. Like there's no way you can be with somebody and not pay a cost. It's going to come at a cost. It's supposed to cost you something emotionally, but it shouldn't cost you so damn much. You know what I'm saying? I'm highly scripted at work. Same. I can see somebody switching it up just to throw you off. Like they ask the question differently, but how will she answer this question today? You know, just throw you off. Brooklyn, I'm happy it helps. And you know how this works. Like I'm not the only one who's accidentally got into a relationship. It just happens, and you're like, hold up, she ain't left the crib in 2 weeks. She here? What? She taking my dog for a walk? How she know my password? What's going on? I'm trying to put myself out of years of depression to heal from the trauma and to figure out who I really am. Okay, Logan, you got this. But look, also keep in mind that, like, what's life without joy? Don't wait to introduce joy into your life. You know, like you can be going through trauma and depression, all these things, but whenever you have those small moments of joy, you gotta take it. You gotta take it. When is just something happening on the street or something funny or like a baby smile, like take these opportunities. You know, life is not all about like, man, like I'm overcome. Yeah, we're overcoming but we have our whole life to overcome all this childhood trauma and all this. Like, let's relax. Like, like stress kills. I do my best to not be stressed. And as long as I get sleep at night, I'm not stressed. It's only this lack of sleep that it'll get me. But if I'm sleeping, I'm not stressed. What am I stressed about? My parents are here. My siblings are here. If ever, any moment they're not, we'll address that when, something like that, whenever. But for right now, damn it, I'm gonna enjoy life. I'm gonna enjoy life. Yeah, let's be ourselves. I looked up and Dad moved in. oh, Candace, he moved in with you? Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Tara, I appreciate you. And likewise, when I look at the comments, I'm like, okay, there's other neurotypical Mickey Thickies like me that it feels good. Putting milkshake at Chick-fil-A. Matt, yeah, no, it's hard to take it off. It's just like the movie with Jim Carrey. Remember how hard it was to take that mask off? You had to and once he got the mask off, all of his powers were gone. He was smooth with the mask. You saw how I never see Jim Carrey out here dancing. He was smooth with the mask. He took it off. It's like, who am I? And that one scene where he threw the mask out, or he tried to throw it out the window. I'm like, hey, don't throw out the mask. The mask is how we, the mask is how we get friends. The mask is how we get romantic partners. Like, do you want to be alone? See, you gotta. I don't know if Jim Carrey's autistic, but you got to take your time to get the mask off. Sleep is huge. Sleep is huge. Yeah. So yeah, I'm using StreamYard for this. Yeah, I am. And TikTok, I know I've missed a lot of comments, but whenever I go live, I always come on TikTok for the after party, and we can play music. We can't play music on Facebook. It shuts down the stream, and then it's hard for people to catch it after the fact. So we can't play music on, Facebook, which is a primary place that we're streaming to. But the after party in about like 5 minutes when I go on TikTok exclusively, then we can play some music, some Young Boy and Low Shimmy, and that throwing some Bob Marley. My music tastes all over the place. I'm gentle online because respect. Carrots, chicken nuggets, ate too much right now. I'm so bad masking is a curse, mostly though, because keeping the people I don't like away is yeah. So this is a big advantage of not being able to mask. You don't have to worry too much about people coming in with the wrong intentions or whatever, because you're not that attractive to a manipulator. They're not looking for you. They're looking for somebody who is sweet and kind and charming. So they're not looking for you. That's an advantage. I appreciate that. And Tara, thank you very much. Um, Kathy on TikTok. Yeah, Kathy, I was looking for your name. That's my Bob Marley buddy. A random opinion for self care. Make self care fun because it's a necessity. So like at the gym, like I've already kind of reached my workout goals. So now like like I wanted to put on muscle. I've kind of done that. So now I think of new games. Like I count things while I'm on the treadmill, and I look at things while I'm lifting. Like I try and you know make the gym fun now because like when I wanted to get muscle, I was like, oh, okay, I'll go to the gym. But now like at some point you kind of like you get your shape. And so I'm always looking for ways to make self care fun because I know I need the gym, not even to look good, but I need the gym so that way I don't crash out. Some of us need the gym for mental health purposes, and it just happens to make us be in shape and be attractive and all that. But some of us need a gym for, just to make sure we don't crash out now. So it's a big part of self care. I just make it fun. So if you look at self care as a fun thing, as a game, you'll do it. But if you look at self care as I gotta walk today, man. Like I gotta take a shower. Like even when I'm brushing my teeth, like if I'm brushing my teeth or I'm flossing, I try and make it fun. Kind of like I'm brushing my teeth with like a 5-year-old next to me. You know, I don't watch the Real Housewives. I know there's a show or something like that. Uh, I don't know. Diddy's clone is in jail. I don't know. Your spicy can burn. Um, yeah. Same here for me. I never knew what was wrong until a couple months ago. It's freeing. I thought I was slow, but I'm super smart. And when you learn about yourself at a more advanced age, you gotta give yourself time to take in all the emotions. Because your first thought is you get to feel like Robin Williams' wife in Mrs. Doubtfire. Because you feel like a trick has been played on you. You're like, everybody knew but me. You're like, the whole time, the whole time, the whole time, the whole time, the whole time. She was so angry. She was like, the whole time. She was so angry. Everybody knew he was Mrs. Doubtfire but her. That's kind of how it feels like to be diagnosed later in life. Like, hold up, you put two and two together and it's like, hold up. Somebody should have noticed something. That's crazy. That's crazy. So you gotta give yourself some time. Candace, well, I'm happy you're back here. I finally learned I actually have ADHD. Yeah, everything makes so much sense. The whole time. I need to go back and watch that. I love that movie. My parents, I think that was their favorite movie growing up. Or growing up, that was my parents' favorite movie. We watched a lot of Robert Williams, rest in peace, but mainly Mrs. Doubtfire. the whole time. Diagnosed with PDD at a fairly young age, and Dylan, yeah, and now that you know this, of course, like meds and stuff can help, but like I urge you to figure out, all right, what are some, like, how can I tweak my life to, even if you can make one small adjustment to make your life a little bit better, never pass up on that opportunity. Because a lot of times when you're living in pain, you're not realizing that time is going by. You're not enjoying these moments. You're not enjoying because you're like you're fixated on the problem, which makes the problem worse. So anytime you have to know a diagnosis so that you can take care of yourself. But when try and find those small tweaks in there to just improve the quality of your life. That's why I feel free here. Free to be me. And this is one of the best compliments that I could get on the live stream. It really is. And I appreciate you for this because I make an intentional effort, not just on live, but in my personal life to let people be themselves. And it's very painful because when people show you who they are, I'm like, dang, I got to act on this. I'm like, oh my gosh. I had tickets for us to go to Alabama to the game, and I had tickets for us to go to Chicago for my comedy show. Now I have to cancel these tickets because I know who you are now, and I really liked you, and I thought we had something going on. I thought you wanted to have kids. That was personal, huh? Y'all could tell. But yeah, when you let people be themselves, you are opening yourself up to losing people, but then you find your people, and that's what I found here, and that's why I appreciate y'all. Oh, 5 a.m. in the UK. So what's up? Scooby doing live stream. I grew up being female in the 80s, and I also had major behavior problems. Mm, mm, and this is why sometimes timing, like those of us who are learning this now, we are at an advantage as opposed to people who grew up in the 80s and 90s with ADHD. Like now talk about CPTSD, make you ficky. Make you ficky. Uh yeah, a little situation. All right, okay, all right. So for my oh no. So she would have given me some kids, but that wasn't a problem. It was like a respect thing. By hearing by yeah, it's a respect thing. I think a lot of women don't realize how important respect is to us as men. Respect is everything. Like a lot of women would accurately say, "Oh, all guys care about is sex," which is yeah for the most part. But respect is higher than that. So when the respect goes away, then we no longer have a relationship. Uh, I gotta get the video re-recorded, right? Oh my gosh, I have to re-record a video for a brand deal, which is late. Dating. So we will continue this dating conversation or divergent conversation. We'll continue it on TikTok. Give me 15 minutes after re-record a video real quick, and then we'll hop on TikTok. What time is it? It's 8:45 in California, so that means it's 11:45 on the East Coast. It's kind of late, but if you're up, um, if you're up, in 15 minutes we'll go live. It'll be a late night stream. It'll be live on TikTok. I'll give it to my TikTokers, and we'll talk about the disrespect, dating with ADHD. We'll talk about it all. So I will see y'all in about 15 minutes on TikTok. For those of y'all who won't be able to make it, I'll see y'all at least next week on the live stream. And I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. See y'all in 15 on TikTok. See y'all soon.